Vanderbilt, Alabama, which we already knew, and Kentucky. Which, hey, the SEC by the Vols. The SEC did the right thing, Spike Lee, by the Vols. They did the right thing, Spike Lee, by the Vols. So if you want to get in and talk about that, we can. But the SEC has released what they're doing. They've done the right thing, Spike Lee, by the Vols. And this is your Monday edition of your Tony Basilio show. And we're live with you today, breaking it down scientifically in your Rainier studio. And so we've got a lot to talk about today on the Monday edition. Obviously, we want to respond to this, and I'm going to give you a look-see at who else I think's on the schedule. And because we have pretty good information on it. And it's going to dribble out later today anyway. Now, tomorrow when they do the schedule reveal, I'll be on with TGMD. Brian will be with us, and C will be with us. But in the meantime, we can react in real time to Chris Lowe's reporting and look around the conference and say, okay, so league members have their assignments. They've kind of pulled a fast one on us here. This thing quit working. They kind of pulled a fast one on us here. And the fast one that they pulled on us is that the fast one they pulled on us here is that they're saying that they're going to reevaluate these every 4 years, which, Bino, Jeff Henderson, I bring you in. That wasn't part of the deal, was it? That they're gonna reevaluate this thing every 4 years. Were you aware of that? Because Alyssa Lang was saying that on the SEC network the other day, but she's the first person I've ever heard say that. Hey, sweetie, help me with that. It re-updated that. It's not working properly.
Yeah, Tony, it's only recently that I heard that they were going to reevaluate these. I don't think that's a bad idea. In case, programs go up and down, and in case someone kind of loaded down with a schedule that's with 3 permanent opponents that are kind of an outlier from what everyone else is playing, I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't think we're going to see a great deal of change from what we see here. Even if they do reevaluate them every 4 years, because it looks to me at a glance like they've done a good job of putting your the biggest rival on everyone's schedule, or the 2 biggest rivals.
Yeah, you say they've done a good job because we got Vanderbilt and Kentucky. But some of these people across the league are going to be urinating. I mean, it's easy for you to say.
My view is slanted by what Tennessee got, but
that's easy for you to say.
I am happy with that because those are our 3 most traditional rivals, regardless of how Vandy and Kentucky have been down through the years.
How about Oklahoma's 3? Well, let's talk about Tennessee's 3. Brian Hartman, did the SEC get it right with Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Tennessee? Yes or no, Bri? Did they get it right?
Yeah, I think so. If you go back to when you just played a 6-game SEC schedule, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Kentucky were on the schedule every year. And the other 2 were Auburn and Ole Miss. So my hope is that at least every year they play either Florida or Georgia. And when they don't play one, they at least play the other, is what I'm hoping for now. But, yeah, I like what they did with the Vols schedule. One casualty is Alabama-LSU permanently rivalry. That will not be every year now. And that's usually a pretty big game. As Alabama's 3 are Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State.
Yep, which is what we speculated. You know what? I got to give my boy C a lot of credit. because he nailed this back in the summer, guys. When we did this thing, that guy he is really something. Like, look at Texas was the first team we closed, Bino. Texas A&M, Texas and Arkansas, Texas and Oklahoma. That's good for them, you know. A&M gets LSU, who's been down through the years, a permanent opponent of them, Missouri and Texas. Good for them. I'm loving it live, Bino.
Yeah, I think those are good, Tony. And had you given Alabama LSU, then theirs would be Auburn, Tennessee, and LSU. And I think that would pretty easily be the one of, if not the toughest group of three permanent opponents that anyone received.
And as we kind of speculated, Bino, they've taken the Vanderbilts of the world and they've used them to fill out dance cards. Which, you know what? If Vanderbilt's going to take their check from the league, that should be their role. They should fill out the dance card. Personally, I've got zero problem with that. That should be Vanderbilt's role. Vanderbilt's got Auburn, us, and Mississippi
State.
Yep. Who got screwed, guys?
So
who got screwed in this deal?
No Vandy Kentucky game every year?
They chose Tennessee and Kentucky over Vandy and Kentucky. Isn't that interesting? Pretty interesting. And what are we going to do without that Vandy Kentucky Classic, Bino, before we go to our TLD Logistics phone lines on this Monday? What are we going to do without that Classic?
Probably use that time enjoying a good game somewhere.
Interesting. Georgia, Bino, gets Auburn, Florida, South Carolina, which continues Georgia's run of hiding in plain sight. That's a very, very easy schedule for them. Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina is a very, very easy draw for a team playing
they did
at the top
get
of the sport.
Auburn and Florida, which is probably harder than what Tennessee got.
I don't know.
And those first two are their biggest rivals. So, outside of Georgia Tech, of course, those are historical rivals for Georgia.
Kentucky gets Florida, Tennessee, and South Carolina. LSU gets Arkansas, Ole Miss, and A&M. That makes total sense. And LSU, like the Vols, they're a team where you could have made a case for 6 clubs playing them each year. Just a pretty rich tradition of playing a lot of different people and a lot of different people thinking that they're kind of rivals of them. Bino, how do you respond now that it looks like Florida and Georgia will be off the schedule next year? And I do have knowledge that so far I've got 7 of Tennessee's 9 opponents right now, I think. And remember, last week we told you, I walked down that ledge and I told you that Kentucky was on that schedule. I said our information was, and I said, I'm not reporting it, but I believe, and I'm going to tell you what I believe here about this other schedule, this schedule you're going to see tomorrow night. Now,
Tony, yeah. I'm so old that I come from a starting point where we only played Florida and Georgia twice every 8 years.
Yep.
Or so. So I'm not stunned by that. I'm kind of like Brian. I'd like to play at least one of those 2 each year. Now that I've become accustomed to the modern schedule.
So we've got a lot to get into today. Very little time to get there. Laura and I are setting some stuff up in our studio because, look, this time of the year, it's all about you and your wife, trying to work together and things malfunctioning in your studio and you fighting before you start today, which is why I sounded so distracted today. And it was really not her. It's really me because I'm getting ready to put my fist through something. Because nothing frustrates you like this electronic stuff when it malfunctions. because I don't know shot from Shinola about it. And, it just kind of goes right through you. So, and my man Ryan Brown at Fanrun will tell you all about it. I mean, you just want to take your head and jam it. I mean, till you draw blood. You want to gig yourself the hard way when you go through this.
You and Laura get to put up the Christmas tree every day, Tony.
There you go, Bino. That's a great way of putting it. And the damn star won't light up after everything else. That damn star up there at the very top, which means you got to climb up there. And it's like 12 feet high. All right. So do you guys want to go through who I think the future opponents are or for next year, or do you want to take some calls or let's do this. Let's take some calls. 865-200-540. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's get a brief timeout. I want your response to the news that Chris Lowe has broken, that it's Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. And by the way, great job. I don't know if Danny White had anything to do with this or not, but great job, Danny White, for lobbying the league at the league level over this deal. Great job, Danny White, because we're just going to assume that when word broke out back in the summer that they weren't going to put Tennessee and Kentucky together, that Danny White and Mitch Barnhart both lobbied the league and did the right thing. But Tennessee's 3 permanent opponents are known. Or are they semi-permanent opponents, guys? How are we calling this? What are y'all calling it?
Well, for the foreseeable future, that's our 3 opponents.
By the way, Bino, what was the level of screw job that we saw the other day from in the Oklahoma game? Do we ever get a home whistle like that, Bino, under Josh Heupel? Ever?
We
Ever.
We certainly don't seem to, Tony.
And he's a hoopty coach. This guy at Oklahoma, you think they would trade their coach for ours? Like tomorrow?
Well,
he's a hoopty.
They took away an obvious touchdown that year against Ole Miss, and then they gave Auburn a phantom touchdown, or not Auburn, but Oklahoma a phantom touchdown the other day.
Brian, they had an interference in the end zone they didn't call. That fumble, when the fumble happened on the field and Auburn returned it for a touchdown, was horrendous. And in a game like that, when you make those breaks and you get those breaks and you score with your defense, you got to count them. Because that Oklahoma defense, let me tell you something. They are nasty. They are for real, and they mean business. 14 pressures, 10 sacks against a pretty good Southeastern Conference football team. And I mean, those two teams were hitting each other. Florida and Miami were hitting each other the other night. That Florida-Miami rivalry is a lot of fun.
Wasn't fun for Florida much.
Well,
I absolutely can't wait for Florida State Miami this year.
Oh,
that's in 2 weeks.
Hey, the ACC's got some very good teams at the top of it, and I got news for you. That Clemson bunch, Bino, they have flat quit. They quit playing.
Speaking of, the ACC has fined Syracuse $25,000 for feigning injuries versus Clemson.
How about that? Let's pick on the little guys that don't have any money. Isn't that amazing what we do?
They could have fined them against Tennessee because they did the same thing against the Vols.
Yeah, they're very bad at faking. Meanwhile, Bino, we do the lay down lineman, and it's the same kid, and it's the same injury. And Taylor Zazor the other day on television said Tennessee can ill afford to lose any more linemen. You're right, Taylor, but unfortunately, what you were witnessing was professional wrestling. We'll come back. I want your thoughts. Tennessee's permanent opponents are known. Who else is on that schedule next year? I'm going to share it with you when we continue on the other side after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders. Fly with Calhoun's wings or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces. Award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage.
Why limit great savings to just one weekend? This year, our Labor Day special lasts all month long. It's the September Smart Comfort event from Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This month only, enjoy valuable home comfort upgrades at no extra cost when you install a new HVAC system or water heater to prepare your home for the colder months ahead. This September, you can get a free furnace upgrade with qualifying HVAC system installation or free sediment filter with water heater installation. Pipe Wrench is your partner for energy-efficient and cost-effective upgrades that keep your family comfortable and safe year-round. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. No rush, no stress, just smart seasonal savings for HVAC or water heater installations until the end of September. Call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
You want some good news? You want some good news? I'm going to give you some good news. If this is 2026, we are already through the nonsense. Isn't that good news, Beanstar? It's a big difference playing 4 of those games versus 3 of those games. Big. We don't know that yet, but it is a major difference. It's going to make the sport so much better.
I've got a question. The Amachi tailgate will have to be earlier than it normally is if there's no game like that in September or December. November, right?
I'll bet we'll have to quit doing the Keith Hatfield Memorial Amachi tailgate for the kids because I bet people won't part with their tickets now, Bino. Maybe that'll become a relic.
No, I think that'll live on, Tony.
Maybe people will continue to live on. Up. They're going to be so hard to get now. Maybe that'll be, just another.
Danny White did say they were going to have 5 SEC home games next year, so that's going to make the season ticket more expensive, I think.
Now he's going to give people a break. So the Vols go next year, and it would make sense they would do the 5 next year because, well, when I tell you some of the teams that are on the schedule, it makes sense. And then secondly, it's going to make sense because they play that game next year away. I think years where you play the Power 4 game in your building, you get 4. I think each year they're gonna try to honor that. So if you think about it, Tennessee's intersectional game next year is away, and so that will give them 7 home dates. 7 home dates is probably going to be the goal, right, guys, going forward?
Yes, Tony. I heard Dr. Danny on the pregame show on Saturday, and that's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
He said that they are going to do their very best to arrange their schedule when in the years that they only have 4 SEC home games, they'll play their Power 4 non-conference game at home. In the year when they have 5, they'll play it on the road. And he kind of poo-pooed that they were going to play any more neutral site games.
Good. Hey, if that's another byproduct that comes out of this thing.
Amen. God bless it.
So here's the good news. You would already have the nonsense portion of the schedule over if this is next year. That immediately makes your sport a lot better. It is time to get into conference play. And really, it's time to stay in conference play. Get into and stay in conference play. Now, the way the schedule is going to be designed going forward is Tennessee's kind of caught a break here with the rotator. But Matt Dixon astutely pointed out when I shared with him off the air what this thing was, and then I shared with him who the rest of the schedule is. He said, Tony, it really doesn't matter who your rotator is, because what they're going to do in this league now is, he said, to use one of your terms, there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide in this deal. It's a great way of looking at it. Everybody's going to play a pretty hard schedule from here. It's hard in a 16-team SEC where how many bad teams are there, guys, in this league annually? Bad teams. Okay, Bino, how many bad teams are there in the league this year? Bad teams. I don't consider Florida a bad team, though they're 1-3 right now. I mean, they've given up, 4 offensive touchdowns in a month against real competition? Do you consider them a bad team, Bri, Florida? Because I do not.
Their defense ain't bad.
No.
Well, I don't know that we'll be able to say that until maybe a month from now.
That's a good point.
I think the bad teams are going to sink and the cream usually rises. That'll separate itself.
There are very few crip teams in the league right now. Mississippi State was supposed to be bad. Bino, do they look bad to you?
No, they don't look bad, Tony. That's what I was going to say. When you got both Mississippi State and Vanderbilt on what appears to be a really good uptick, it's hard to find bad football teams in this league.
Kentucky might be the bad team.
Our winners and losers talked me into taking as a power play the Vanderbilt game the other night against Georgia State. Now our winners and losers did go 2-1 in their power plays, and individually these guys continue to have great years. And we'll be back on Thursday with another edition of that. Thursday night we'll drop it over at YouTube. Presented by our friends at Dos Equis /VIP Play. I got to tell you though. Vandy putting 70 on the board. And by the way,
it feels like an alternate universe with the Vandy scoring 70.
This is very painful for me to say this, Bino, but the ACC has the upper hand on the SEC right now as a television product, because there's no reason, if the ACC is allowing us to hear the replay official talk to the referee on the field, that the SEC can't do it. And I want to know why the SEC isn't doing it. What do they have to hide? I mean, I'm just asking for a friend. Why aren't we doing that already? You know they have the latest and greatest games and gadgets and technology. Bino, why aren't they doing that? You know, in an era where we're interviewing head coaches on the field, which is useless, during games, and these sideline reporters are, I mean, no offense, but they're borderline useless. Why don't you use your technology for something really real? Like allowing us to listen in to those two communicating and working this thing out. Let's take the mystery out of it and open it up and be accountable for the calls you make. At least if they're going to blow the call, we see them blowing the call in real time. Can I get an amen from the gallery?
Yeah, amen, Tony. I would love to see the SEC do that. But I'll be perfectly honest, that's probably the only reason I would tune in many ACC football games.
865-200-5402. It's very good. It's very neat, because that referee is going, okay, now what's the down and distance? Okay, what's the time on the clock? The official in the booth is conferring with him. He's not telling him what the call is. He's saying, look, this is what it looks like to me. Do you see that? And the referee, they kind of work it out, and then you know what you don't feel like you're watching? You don't feel like you're watching 4 minutes of Bill Lemonier coming in and speculating on something that ends up not happening, and then him telling you after it doesn't happen that it was a good call. I mean, it's embarrassing. This Bill Lemonier guy comes in and goes, well, this is what they're going to do. And then they'll do the opposite. And he'll go, they got it right. They got it right. All right.
two every year and not both in one year.
That's-
That makes sense?
Yeah, we're doing the Texas
Yeah.
step.
Yeah, it does make sense, Brian. What is an ouch, Tony? Before we go further, here?
Ouch makes you say ouch. You. Now that we're getting into the schedule, you go ouch. You go, okay, Texas was cool, and then when you add A&M to it, I either say cool. That's great. That sounds, because I'm not going to give them all away. The next team I believe is on the schedule. I believe it's Auburn. Bino.
That's cool to me, Tony. That was always one of my favorite rivalries that we don't see often enough, in my opinion.
Totally agree with that. So far on next year's schedule, we have Alabama, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Texas, Texas A&M, and I believe Auburn. Now, John Adams, are you sitting up straight? Because to go with Texas, Texas A&M, and Auburn, I believe you're going to see LSU. I believe you're going to see LSU. Bino, would you agree that that is a little bit of a step up? And we don't know who the other two are. The other two, when you start looking through it, okay, let's just kind of speculate here. Bri, you're good at this. Let's say it's our three of Alabama, Kentucky, Vandy, right? Let's say Texas A&M and Auburn are on it, along with, I believe, LSU. Who's that leave, Bri? Who else is out there?
Well,
that you got two teams now to fill out your dance card with. Who are the two?
It will have been 5 years since they played this team. I think Ole Miss would be one.
God, what a hard schedule that would be. You imagine that, Bino, if you got Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss?
Yeah, now all those together would be an ouch.
Is there a chance, guys, they would flip a Georgia and or a Florida on the Vols? Could they do that?
I think Brian's wish is going to come true. I believe we're going to play either Georgia or Florida each year.
Yeah, I don't think we'll play both. Also, you got South Carolina that they could – that's another one.
Oh, you're exactly right. Here's the trouble with the league right now. I'm looking at who those other two teams – here again is what I believe the schedule's going to be next year. I believe – and by the way, this stuff's going to leak out later. I was talking with a friend of mine over the weekend who was like, you need to do a Tuesday thing. I said, oh, yeah. We'll be on Tuesday. Because when you see it, you get to talk about it in its totality. So as soon as the SEC, what's the SEC announcement, Bri, tomorrow? Do you know what time they're releasing that?
I think it's 7. I think it's 7 after the Feinbaum show.
So we'll be on with you. We'll be on with you wherever you're finding us. We'll be on with you. On our coordinates over at tclub.team and our socials and all that stuff. We're on social media. And so Clone does an incredible imitation, by the way. Again, this is what we believe will appear on the schedule next year. And remember, I believed that Kentucky was the third team, but what do I know? I believe you're going to see Texas and Texas A&M on the schedule. I believe you're going to see Auburn and LSU on that schedule. And then there's two more to go with the three permanents. And Bino, that ain't your 2024 and that ain't your 2025 schedule. That is a brutal schedule when you think about it. That is really hard.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. And I don't think you're going to be able to tell much difference between anyone's schedule in the SEC anymore since it's gone to 9 games.
And that was Matt's point. I gave Matt a look-see at that last week, and he said, Tony, I got a hint for you, buddy. It doesn't matter who your permanents are, because everybody's going to get put in the meat grinder in this deal. And listen, Tennessee also plays a salty Georgia Tech team that is a program on the rise right down there in Atlanta. And if I have my way, they'd play them in Grant Field, but they're going to stick that game in that dome. I know what they're going to do. They're going to make a play for the money. But if I have my way, we go down there and play them in that friendly, beautiful Bobby Dodd Stadium. Beanstar, have you ever seen a game in there?
I have not, Tony. My Freddie went to a number of games there back in the day and enjoyed them when he was there. Is that Georgia Tech's choice?
Yes, that'll be Georgia Tech's choice. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. 865-200.
They're obviously making more money by putting it in Atlanta or the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're doing that.
They could probably, with our crazies, they could probably tie that thing to a season ticket package and use that as a way to sell out their season tickets. But I'm not giving anybody any secret hints on how to do things, but that will not be a walkover game next year. So quite a season to introduce a new quarterback into. Again, this is what we believe. And then I want to get your thoughts on the permanent opponents. Who got the easiest draw from the permanent opponents? And Alyssa Lang said the other day on the SEC Network, and people are repeating this now, that the permanent opponents are a 4-year thing. I guess that makes sense. I guess in today's environment, you don't want to say anything is really quote unquote permanent, because none of this is permanent. So why not just say, hey, every 4 years we're going to revisit it? And you could say, well, in 4 years we revisited it, and this is what we have. In 4 years we revisited it, and this is what we have.
I think basketball's permanent home and away that's been redone and done and redone over again too. So
yeah, of course, nobody cares about basketball to the extent they care about football. You can mess around with basketball schedules all day long, and people are going to go and watch basketball because it's a tournament sport, and you don't set your watch by it. And look, I love college basketball, but this kind of thing here is something that it will be debated and talked about and commiserated over a Dos Equis on the back porch by many, many a person.
I don't think there's anything wrong with a reevaluation, Tony, as long as it's not abused. This is it's a brand new world here. So give it 4 years and see if you need to tinker it with it a little bit. Hey, Tony, real quick, something that you all were talking about the other day that piqued my attention, and that's you were talking about going out every year and finding a veteran quarterback like Joey Aguilar as just that's your plan. That's what you're going to do. And then you tied it in with if Joey got an extra year of eligibility, would you bring him back? I think both those things are real interesting. But I was thinking at the time you said it, if you make it your plan, you've got these kids signed, you've got one of the top quarterbacks in the country coming in next year. If you make it your plan to go out and get a veteran quarterback and bring him in here ahead of these kids you're bringing in, then that better be your plan every year, because I'm afraid that you're not going to sign a kid the level of the kid that we've got from North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they'll go somewhere else.
And it's a real interesting discussion that Tennessee fans are having, because all you got to do is show me that the star system is kind of a farce, which it is a farce, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of 5-star guys that cannot play. Not only aren't they good college quarterbacks, they can't play. The bus rate on those guys is like 35 to 40% if you go look it up. I mean, and by bust, we mean you can't play. Like Dan Kendra was the greatest player in the world back in the day, ended up a fullback. Who was the guy? There was a guy out of Louisiana who was thought to be one of the greatest players ever, and he signed with
Brock
Florida.
Berlin.
Brock Berlin couldn't play at all.
Yeah.
There was a guy by the name of Bobby Sablehouse who was a 5-star kid from Maryland. He couldn't play a little bit. There have been so many of those guys, so many. And for whatever reason, Bino, our head coach has proven that he can't evaluate them for his offense. It's really odd.
Yeah, thus far, I don't think you could argue that very much. The other side of that was, Tony, and I may be speaking out of both sides of my mouth, but I would feel differently about Joey because he's been here and he's earned the opportunity to come back another year if he gets it.
Oh, of course.
That to me is not like going out and dragging in someone who hasn't been here next year to put in front of McIntyre and Faison.
Well, the bottom line is, if you in a perfect world, if you got Aguilar for 2 years, obviously you're taking him back, and you're not worrying about who's transferring. I
agree.
You're saying you guys got to deal with that. I think the funny thing about Tennessee right now with the quarterbacks, Bino, is this Merklinger guy and them pretending that he's the backup, because that's all that is pretending at this point. I mean, I hate to put it that way. Thrody said it today in the blog. He's right. The guy can't play in this offense. I don't know whether he can play, but he's another example of a guy who doesn't fit that offense. He is looks like Nico in the offense. John Adams said it the other day. John's right. And that's not – look, that's no offense to the kid, but the kid looks uncomfortable in that offense. Really odd, isn't it, guys? Does he look comfortable to you, Bino, in that offense at all?
No, not from what we've seen today. No.
And do you believe the narrative that he was pushing Nico in the spring? Do you believe that? Because I don't. I didn't at the time. I just don't believe that. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. There's a Texas A&M on the schedule next year. We believe you're going to see Auburn, and I also believe LSU's on that schedule next year. Now, I don't know who else is on it. But if you throw those 7 out there with let's go back to our phones.
Hey, guys. But at some point, some kid's going to win in court on this thing. Some kid's going to take it in front of the right judge, and they're going to win being able to play more than 4 years of college football. Because there's just no legal reason why the NCAA can decide that you only get 4 years if you're in good academic standings and you're pursuing some kind of degree, and you can make money doing it. And by restricting you, you're breaking antitrust laws. So somebody's going to beat it in court eventually. I don't know who it's going to be. And some kid's going to challenge the whole one portal a year rule.
Sure they are.
And beat that too.
Sure they are, because these people will just not belly up to the bar and do what they've need to do, man. It's a shame.
Selective bargaining, brother.
It's dumb.
Hey, let me throw this out at you, Tony and Bino, and I want you guys to get a take on this, because I've actually been thinking a lot about UCLA fired their coach. There's a quarterback out there that we all assume is going to go in the portal. We know he talked to 4 teams. I started trying to figure out where he could play football. And there's one school that actually I think his skill set with what we've seen him do, especially the way he played at Ohio State when Heupel just said, go run the football. We can't do anything else against this Ohio State team. Our best bet is for you just to run the football and try to get some tough yards and stick your nose in there. And he actually ran it better than he had all year that night. He throws it not accurate downfield, but he does throw like curls and things like that accurately. It looks really similar to like the same skill set as Haynes King. If I was his people, I would try to go play for that guy at Georgia Tech that's just going to run the quarterback 20 times a ball game and throw like 8 passes and run a lot of misdirections, and him go play at Georgia Tech. I think it's a fit. And how funny would that be if we got to play them first game next year if he was there?
Wow,
or second.
That's very interesting, man. Now they do have a very good young quarterback that they like a lot, whose father happens to be a Tennessee graduate, who might be the starter next year. And thank you for the call, Rusty. But that's certainly worth a school of thought. I was talking to somebody around the league who was telling me that the word he's hearing is that Nico does not have a Power 4 grade on him right now. Because what they do, every staff has to sit down and grade these players. Because that portal, like for instance, the kid at NC State right now and the kid at Cal are the 2 creme de la creme transfers at quarterback next year. You can just go ahead and book that. Those are the 2 guys.
You think
they're going to command
the kid at Cal after the other night?
The kid at Cal and the kid at NC State are the 2 guys that have the highest grade. So and I was kind of poking around on Nico because why not? All politics are local. And I was told that Nico does not have right now a Power 4 grade on him, which you have to give Big Nick a lot of credit, because that is like taking somebody and just destroying them, their value, Bino. I gotta say that's job well done.
Tony, where I would push back a little bit on Rusty's thoughts about going to Georgia Tech, I think, and it's understandable, I think that Nico's family and his group of directors, whoever that is, have a lot higher opinion of him than most. I think they think that he's an NFL property, and I don't think they're going to send him anywhere where they would ask him to run the football like Haynes King does.
It's pretty interesting. The portal opens up the world, though, where you kind of can look at different things and say, okay, well, how you going to play?
Yes.
You know, it's kind of it's really turned it into a conversation sport.
I think he's going to move again. I don't think there's any question about that. And Tony, I understand the right to make a living, but the more this thing goes to court and the older college football gets, I'm afraid the less I'm going to like it.
Unless they just say, hey, you know what? We're just going to make these guys employees. We're going to lock them down. And then it becomes like old school college football. And you won't even know the difference. But for some reason, and there is a reason why they won't do that. They don't want to share the booty with the kids. Speaking of the booty, The new athletic director at Georgia Tech is a guy that comes from Tennessee. And you know what? He's pulling a little stunt that Danny White would be very proud of with the Tennessee game already. Because why not strike while the iron's hot? I'll tell you about it as we continue. 865-200-5402. We also shared who we think is going to be on that schedule tomorrow evening when it's revealed, and we'll be on live responding to it. And I will remind you that we thought Kentucky was going to be on that permanent rotating deal along with Alabama and Vanderbilt. And kudos to Chris Lowe for breaking the stories. We continue with more after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TV every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof. T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka, and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka, distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place. That's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike, Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family-owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm going to hop online and I'm going to get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
I mean, let's go, right? It is a wild day. There is a rumor percolating that Bruce Pearl, who a couple weeks ago gave an interview and said, look, I've done everything that I can do in major college basketball. And, you know, I've been to a Final Four, and if I don't win it, who cares? And, you know, he just basically said, I'm done. There's a rumor out there he's getting out, and Auburn's elevating Bino, Stephen, effing Pearl. Does Bino have a thought on that? Does Bino have a thought on that?
Yes. I like our chances better against Stephen than against Bruce.
I told you these schedules are starting to leak out. I think I've got a leak for what Tennessee's schedule is next year. I think. But I don't know if I want to share it. Let's go to the phones. I'm running it up a few flagpoles here. But essentially, they're telling these schools, it looks like they're doing these things in 3-year increments, 26, 27, 28. And I think I have the schedule in front of me. But who knows? Maybe at some point this hour we'll leak that out if I get word that that's In fact, what this thing looks like, where it looks like it's going. But let's go back to our busy phones nonetheless at 865-200-5402. Before we do that, though, one other thing. So we were talking about what's Georgia Tech going to do next year with that game. And if you remember Danny White on the pregame show on the newly reconfigured Vol Network, said that Tennessee next year will have 5 SEC home games, 4 on the road. That is what I have in front of me, 5 and 4. We were talking about what Georgia Tech would do with that game. A source just reached out to me. People are just listening, and they bless us with stuff, and I share it with you. Share and share alike, Ryan Alpert's their new AD down there, who is one of Danny White's freshly minted lieutenants. And Ryan Alpert from Georgia Tech, they have sent out a survey to Georgia Tech fans in true Danny White style, Bino. And he's asked the fans to vote on the following. Does this sound like a Danny White, vintage Danny White Beanstar? Vols play at Grant Field Bobby Dodd Stadium, and you will pay a higher ticket price to make up for the lost revenue for not playing at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, or we play Tennessee at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium and keep the normal ticket prices for Tech home games.
Yeah, Tony, I don't know if that's the Danny White playbook or today's AD's playbook. I don't want to put too much on Danny, but that sounds pretty typical for athletic directors today.
The apple does not fall far from that tree, and these guys make no bones about it. It is about the D-Shay-Mo-Nay. Not much else. Nothing more and nothing less than the D-Shay to the Mo-Nay. Back to the phones we go.
Tony, I've put on I took a different direction with AD, starting with Danny White, because they have most of the decisions they make, we're not going to like, because they're truly not sportsmen. Yep. They're businessmen. Yep. That's the reason they're in that position. Yep. But the one thing that I will jump him about is you cannot limit access to the vast majority of the people attending a football game by taking away gates from them to appease those few. You can't do that and not create something that's kind of an unsafe environment.
I think that's a fair statement. Obviously, they're going to tell you that what they did over the weekend worked. I mean, that Oklahoma game.
We'll see.
Yeah, that Oklahoma game is going to be a real tester of that. It's going to be a real tester. We'll go to our phones and get our next call in at 865-200-5402. Hello and welcome in. You're on our Monday edition. We're talking schedules. Apparently, Bruce Pearl's getting out. It's all hitting the fan today on a Monday. Hi, welcome in.
Hey, Tony, what's going on, man?
Hey, Josh, welcome in, my brother.
Josh. We talked earlier in the season about this 3 permanent opponents, and everybody seemed to think Texas was the easiest choice, but I mean, Tennessee was just as easy. And to me, as long as I know they're going to look at this in 4 years, but as long as there's 3 permanent opponents, we're going to play those 3 teams. The Kentucky game is 1 game away from the oldest rivalry in the whole conference. And you're never going to drop Bama or Vanderbilt. And I agree with Matt. It makes absolutely zero difference. It makes zero difference money-wise. It makes zero difference anything. You're just going to make up the difficulty of your schedule and your rotators. I mean, they're going to try to equal these schedules out. And it's a lot easier with a 9-game schedule. So I think in 4 years, the SEC will be a lot more than 16 teams. I think it could be 20 teams, but as long as there's 3 permanent opponents, I think we're going to always play those 3. And I'm glad to see it, Tony. At least, they done one thing that made sense that I've seen in the last few years. So,
well, as long as you can do it, right? Now, if your league expands by many more, see, I think eventually the league's going to expand, and you're going to have the old Southwest Conference with a piece or a remnant of the ACC, along with the SEC, kind of under the same umbrella, calling themselves the SEC. And I don't know how big the league's going to be, but I think eventually that's where this thing goes. And so it's kind of interesting and it's kind of fun all at the same time.
You might get the original 10 SEC teams back in the same division again.
That's right, Brian. That's what you need to do. And then you let the Southwest Conference and a few of those ACC teams, let them have their own deal. And then play a championship game at the end of the year. And most people would go for that.
And as far as Georgia Tech, I would love to see it in Bobby Dodd Stadium. Bobby Dodd is a Tennessean. He is from Kingsport, Tennessee. There's tons of history with Georgia Tech. We need to definitely, I wish we could get home and homes with Georgia Tech again. Big rivalry.
Yep.
Tony.
Yep.
So, and I don't know, I had a hard time even calling today. That Georgia game in 40 years, Tony, that's probably the most devastating loss I can remember. It was brutal for me.
Why? Why did it hit you that hard?
I have no clue. It was just it was there. And it was 8 years, and I do not view Georgia in the same light as Alabama. There's no reason to lose to Georgia 8 or 9 straight years. It just seemed like the whole season we had I feel like we'd won that game. We had a trip to Atlanta, basically a playoff spot, and it just went wide right. And I'm not blaming that kid, but it was just one of them games where it really changed the whole outlook on the year.
Oh.
That was a season-defining win. That would have been remembered we'd have talked about it for years to come, Tony. Now it's, oh my God, it's just still difficult to even, I don't know. It's hard for me to get over that one. And it's could have dampened on at least till we play Alabama for me. So hopefully we keep this offense rolling and get some defensive pieces back because we desperately need them. But hopefully we can still accomplish some of those things. But we'll see. Hey, you guys hang in there.
Thank you, brother. Josh Heupel going to join here in a couple minutes. So we'll take his press conference. He'll be brief. He always is. One thing I'll be curious to see is will they admit that Moy's coming back this week, which is believed. Will he say that into a microphone? They need to get some defensive players back. They're in a stretch here where they've scored 40 in a row for 4 consecutive games for the first time, we believe, ever. Could go to 5. If they can get it to 5 this week, it will go to 6 when they play that Arkansas bunch. Because that Arkansas bunch, you think our guys in the secondary at times take bad angles? You ought to see these guys. These guys are not going to do well in geometry class. They're just not. That is a rough watch, them on defense. By the way, the Ben McKee has popped the Pearl story that Pearl supposedly retires, Stephen being promoted later in the week. Stephen effing Pearl demands respect from you. Let's go back to the phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
How my French compatriots doing today?
There he is.
Tony, the radio broadcast is on now, but it's gone off a couple of times today.
That's my life.
Well, that's okay. But on this permanent opponent deal, about a month ago, I said the third opponent should be revisited every 4 years. Did Alyssa Lang misunderstand what I said? I didn't say every opponent.
Interesting.
Because I think, doesn't everybody pretty much have two that are pretty set in stone? It should be.
Probably that's what they would do. I mean, if you stay at the league at the size, if that's how this thing goes, wow. That's probably what they'll do, right, Bino? Surely they're not going to shake it up and pull like Alabama and Vanderbilt off Tennessee's schedule just to do it, right? Surely they're not.
No, I don't see that ever happening. I think W-Lynn, you're right. That's what this will be about, and I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of change if they review it every 2 years. I don't think we're going to see a lot of change.
Hey, Bri, thinking about Alabama without the Vols kind of takes your breath away, Bri.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't it, W-Lynn?
Well,
yeah, it does.
It takes my breath away.
I don't think that'll happen.
And I just took the 10 original teams, and I asked myself, what is their number one team they want to keep? And I think everybody got what they wanted. Did LSU get Ole Miss?
Did LSU get Ole Miss? Let's look at that.
I think that would have been their number one.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They got Arkansas, Ole Miss, and A&M.
You know, to me, the other six are, I don't care about them as much as the original 10 should get a bigger vote in a way, I think, on at least their first one and probably their first two.
Yep.
You know, the Ole Miss fans are sort of decrying the fact they got Oklahoma. They're like, well, we played them twice, and it's not exactly proximity done.
Ole Miss is there to fill out a dance card, Bri. Sorry.
Amen. Amen to that, Tony.
That's
Those people can't complain about nothing.
No, let's get real here.
Because if we ever go to a super conference of maybe 25, 30 teams, I don't think Ole Miss and Mississippi State would be in it. Do you?
There you go.
You know, so they're lucky to be hanging on right now.
Nope.
But, you know, the ACC did what I proposed, you know, over the last year, the 8 conference games and 2 Power 4 for a 10 Power 4 schedule, which I think we may wish that we had done that. I took every road game we've ever played, Bino, since you and I started following in 1965 up to 2008. And that percentage of wins is 60%. You convert that to 5 road games, that's going 3-2 every time we have 5 on the road. That's from 1965 to 08. I didn't go beyond that. We're 60% on road games from 1965 to 2008.
What do you think, Bino?
And that'd be 3-2 with a 5 game on the road.
60%, Bino.
Yeah, I'm sure that number's correct. I'm actually a little bit surprised that it's that high.
Hard to win on this road in the league, guys, isn't it?
Yeah. And that's why we got to get to 16 teams, because we're going to have a lot of 9-3 on the bubble teams this year, and with 16 teams, most of us would be in. And I'm not for the old SEC. I'm thinking of us, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to beat each other up.
Oh, sure we are.
I mean, Iowa State, for Pete's sakes, they're the top Big 12 team at the moment, and they're ranked 13th in the last poll.
Yeah. Polls, we're in an era where polls just don't mean anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. Like Illinois was 8 coming into the weekend. Did Illinois look like the number 8 team in America to you, Beanstar, Saturday night at Indiana?
They look like the number 8 team in the Big Ten.
Because
they look like the number 8 team in the MAC.
They were power rated like in the mid-30s.
Yeah, they're terrible. and it's like the SEC doesn't have teams like that.
No.
This year.
No,
yeah, but Mississippi State's doing good this year, but next year Kentucky might have a winning record. I mean, you just never know in the SEC.
Bino's going to have to begrudgingly admit, though, that the guy at Indiana can coach. Bino's.
I've never said he couldn't coach, Tony. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a Richard, but I think he's a very good football coach.
A Richard in Murfreesboro, Bino?
A Richard in any city.
Not a Richard Dale Barnes, though.
W. Lynn, anything else for us?
If Stephen F. and Pearl starts head coaching at Auburn, boy, I'll pull for the Russians and the Taliban against them from now on.
Stephen F. and Pearl's pretty off-putting, as they say in the trade. And that's only by people that know him. 865-200-5402. We're awaiting Josh Hyper today over at UT.
On the call for the Mississippi State-Tennessee game is Dave Neal, Fozzie Whitaker, Morgan Uber. We got a Fozzie and an Uber.
Say it again, Bri.
Dave Neal, Fozzie Whitaker, and Morgan Uber on the call for the Tennessee-Mississippi State game.
My Roan. Let's go back to the phones. 865-200-5402. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. How you doing, brother?
Hey, welcome in, Greg.
Hey, I looked over the scheduled 9 games for the Vols. Of course, Alabama, Vandy, Kentucky. I kind of figured those 3 would be in that category. I've got Mississippi State. I got Auburn. I told you before, Auburn I thought was a team that should have always been in there. It's been too long, like Bino said, that Tennessee's played them. Back in the day, great rivalry, in my opinion. Would love to see them back. I would love to see Texas added. I would also love to see Georgia staying on the schedule. I think they are just as good as having Alabama every year, in my opinion. Then I get to the point where I'm not sure about Florida. Arkansas was a big rival back then as well. I think Arkansas should be in there, and I don't know if I would keep Florida, Ole Miss, Missouri. Probably Missouri would not be on my list, but not sure about LSU. Maybe every other year or so play LSU, but that's what I'm thinking about the 9 teams. So I'm not sure what they'll do. But anyway, I also wanted to quickly say what a pleasure it is to listen to Mike Keith and watch the games. I don't care who does the game on TV. I'm not hearing them anyway. Mike in the game does a great job. I love how they refreshed it with the outros to the broadcast stations doing the commercials on their side. I love that little outro they've got for them that they've added to it. Sounds like a Titans game when Mike was there. But Larry Stone was a fantastic grab. He's a great guy on sports. I loved hearing him when he was with them earlier in Titans years. But love the Vol Network even better now, man. It's great to hear Mikey. That's all I got.
Thank you, my man. You know, the great Brandon Parks will be glad to hear that because, look, anytime you take something that has the history behind it that they have, and they've been kind of doing like the same old for so long. I mean, they were running the same intro music since I was in school, Bino. I don't know how old that intro music like last year they were using was, Bino, but that goes back to at least when I was in school. And it's got to go back further than that, right, Bino? I mean, that thing had, I don't want to say gotten stale because I don't mean that the way it sounds, but that thing needed a fresh coat of paint. It really did.
Yeah, I agree, Tony. And I don't, it's been a long time since I consumed the game on the radio.
Yeah.
The way that I once did, the way that you once had to. But I intentionally went out for periods of the game on Saturday. I didn't attend. I watched it from here at the house. I intentionally went out and listened to Mike's broadcast some, and I think he really appreciates that opportunity.
That's right.
And I think it comes through in the way that he delivers. I was real pleased with what I heard.
Yeah.
I guess
go ahead,
Greg
Brian.
don't want to hear Fozzie Whitaker break it down.
He's got a lot of joy. Mike does almost like a childlike innocence kind of thing with the way he approaches it. And you can tell this is a dream of his. He's getting an opportunity to live his dream. He's from here. He's one of us. He's North Knoxville guy, as he told us back in the summer when he was on with us. He said they were going to do some things, take some chances, experiment with some things. And I think they understand, some things are going to be embraced. Some people are going to blanch at any kind of change. And Greg, being a broadcaster himself, understands, just the importance some of these little things can mean. A fresh voice doing this, a fresh voice doing that. New intros in, new intros out, different segues and different things that they're trying to do. And, so fresh coat of paint is a good idea. That's why my friends at Walker's Painting, look, when it's time for a fresh coat of paint, well, here's Josh Heupel. He's giving us a fresh coat of paint. Ladies and germs.
When you look back at last year's game and what Jeff had then and what they've been able to do this year to this point, where have they grown in the last year?
Yeah, well, I think their entire roster, they're deeper than they were a year ago. Their young guys that they had a year ago have continued to develop. They're playing extremely well. They obviously added some bodies through the portal as well, and I think collectively their personnel's much further developed than it was a year ago. Understanding of their systems is much better, and that's why they're playing the way that they are defensively. One of the top in our league in a lot of different categories, offensively playing extremely efficient, but also creating a bunch of big plays in the pass game, and their special teams have done a really nice job.
They're not ranked, but they are undefeated, a 4-0 record. Does that look tricky to you at all in a 3-4 defense that's new to you? So what do you?
Yeah, we went against them a year ago, schematically, not entirely different. They've continued to add things to it. Their personnel is playing extremely well. There's nothing tricky about going down there and playing this football team. It's a really good football team. You can see that on the tape in all three phases of the game. You look at the quality of the wins that they've had, beating Arizona State. It's the next test. In this league, you better show up every Saturday ready to play.
Through 4 games, where's your evaluation of your secondary? What do you want to get better there?
Yeah, I thought we took a step in our communication this past week, in particular with the guys that played early in the football game. Had a couple of busts late, but overall, like our continued growth. But the stress of this football game, formation variation, splits, and the tempo, we got to do a great job. Yeah, I mean, they see it throughout the course of the season at times. In general, we've handled it pretty well. They get a chance to see it on a day-to-day basis with us, too.
Coach, Chris Brazel leads the nation with 6 receiving touchdowns. How important is he going to be in this SEC matchup coming up?
Wide receivers in general are going to be really important in this one. That's guys working in the middle of the football field. It's out on the outside. They have a mixture of coverage. Recognizing the structure and coverage that we're seeing will be important in this one. Chris, obviously, what he's done here in the first few ball games, really special. But all of us, him included, got to continue to grow and take another step here this week.
Jackson Moy, how close were we all seeing him return, and just you feel like he's trending in the right direction?
I knew it would be you, right? Jackson's continuing to get better. Wednesday will be the official first injury report of the week, and then you can stay tuned from there.
Josh, you had an older team last year who had kind of done the tour of SEC road trips. A lot of young guys now that haven't done a lot of SEC road games. What's your advice to those young guys about how to prepare and how to handle winning on the road?
Preparation's the key. That's true whether you're at home or on the road. Practicing well, continuing to dial into the details of the game plan and what you expect to see on the other side of the football, all the way up until kickoff. Really important. Road games, it's different because you're not playing in front of your fans, but you get between the white lines, it's 11 on 11, and being able to snap and clear, reset to the next play, and control the controllables. The ordinary, everyday things are what are really important on Saturdays in general, but certainly when you're on the road.
Coach, Joey has just about as many 50-plus yard pass plays in 4 games as you guys did all of last year. Is that personnel, him and the receivers, just being better? You guys tweak some things, as a staff, and just how much easier does it make offense when you're hitting some shots like that?
I think it's a combination of everything. There's some things that we've added to our arsenal offensively that have been a part of creating that. Our wide receivers going and making plays down the field. Those guys have gone up and competed and made contested catches down the football field. Protection's certainly a big piece of that as well. And, Joey obviously is a big piece of that. He's been really pretty accurate down the football field, and that's allowed our guys to go make plays.
What stands out to you about Mississippi State's run game, especially in their effectiveness to get first downs on the ground?
First of all, they do a really good job up front. They're well coached. They're physical. I think their running backs do a really good job of pressing and hitting the holes, playing with great pad level and being physical at the end of the run. Their quarterback has the ability to be a part of the run game, and that changes the numbers, changes the angles. We got to do a great job of getting off of blocks and penetrating and making things bounce.
Going back to that road environment, just looking at the offensive line specifically, a lot of you face it on the line when we talk in terms of communication. And the environment is also unique sound-wise.
I think, the uniqueness of it sound-wise is what is a part of making this league really special, too. For us up front, absolutely, the communication starts with Sam, and then being able to get all 5, but your tight ends, everybody in sync as far as your targets, and then your double teams and all that comes off of it, and that will be important in this one. Crowd noise, structure recognition, all of it.
Can someone take a game like Saturday, a young player, and really elevate themselves up the line in terms of being able to help you? Can you look at someone coming out of a single game like that and go, hey, that guy may be closer to helping than maybe we even thought on the practice field? And secondly, where is Sidney Walton in his development?
Sidney's done a great job, super mature, focused, guy that spends a bunch of extra time getting himself prepared. You've seen him play really well on special teams. Saturday he got more action in the secondary, did a really nice job. One event doesn't holistically change everything, but the young guys, I think we played 16 true freshmen in the first half, maybe 20 plus during the course of the game. those guys between the white lines on game day, yeah, it's a part of the evaluation. And did they handle things the right way? Did they go make plays? Did they get off blocks? How was the communication? That's all a part of it. And the same thing offensively, alignment, assignment keys, and execution.
Mississippi State's kind of unique because they've been able to get a lot of big plays, explosive plays on offense, but then they're number one in the nation in red zone offense too. Is there a common thread you see from that and why they've been successful in those 2 areas?
Yeah, big plays happen because you're able to execute, right? That's going and winning out on the perimeter. It's protection up front. It's quarterback being accurate with the football. They got great speed out on the outside. The red zone efficiency and the quarterback being a part of the run game, the way that they're able to run the football, all of that leads to, that efficiency in that area of the field.
Several players earned the game ball last game. Boo Carter, one of them. What can you appreciate in the way that he's been able to kind of fight or contribute so far this season?
I think all those guys, defensively, game balls for forced turnovers. That can be defensive lineman, strip sack, tip. Boo with a great punch the other day on the ball. Caleb picking it up. So always recognize that after a game. And when we come back in the building on Monday, Boo's continued to grow. The details continue to matter. And that's a part of his growth and taking the next step as a player. But there's been a lot of good from him.
That the annual 3 opponents Tennessee would play would be Kentucky, Vandy, and Alabama. How important is that just to kind of see those rivalries continue on in a league that continues to evolve and continues to change year to year?
Well, I do think rivalries matter. It's a part of the tradition of this game. Fan bases, pointing to those football games. I hadn't heard about that report. I know that the league, that's something that they've, it's been important to them to try to protect some of those special games, for universities and their fan bases.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Here on the TLD Logistics Hotline, online at tldlogistics.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contracting. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Fall officially begins this month, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team started at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I'd really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care. I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called the Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Tony B here with the great Zakai Ziegler for
Hey, whoa. Tony, I got this. Hey, Tennessee, it's Easy here. Next time you have an electric issue at your home or business, call my friends at Advent Electric. With offices in Knoxville and Nashville, it's Mama's Easy approved.
You heard it from the most electrifying player in the league. Call the service professionals at Advent Electric, 865-588-0631. Online, adventelectric.com. Tell them ZZ sent you. It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B. Tony, me back with you, 865-200-5402, as we welcome you back on the one, the only. As we told you before, we had the... last week, we kind of knew who Tennessee's permanents were, and I told you today that the schedules are going to leak out, and I got a leak for next year's schedule. Can't get it confirmed. I shared it with Bino, which is going to make 1 million people text Bino now. Bino, if in fact that is the schedule, what will people be saying about Tennessee's schedule? If in fact that is the schedule, Bino. Bino, are you there? Did I lose Bino? Let me see here. Bino, unmute yourself, please.
Sorry, Tony, I'm here.
No, you're fine. If that's the schedule, what are people going to be saying about the schedule?
I think they'll be saying that it is a difficult schedule. Good year to have 5 home games with 2 very attractive road opportunities.
Yep. Agree. And essentially that'll be one of the better home schedules we've seen in a long time, if that's what comes to pass. I'm talking about from a box office perspective. And then, well, no, it's going to be the best home schedule maybe in my lifetime, is what that is. Yes or no, Bino?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I mean, anytime you add another home game in this league, Tony, you can pretty well bet it's going to be quality, and it's going to do away with one of the days that it's really a waste of time to go over there, to be quite honest.
Z over on YouTube says that it hit me Saturday that our best quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, 3/5 of our offensive line are all portal guys, and Tony complained all summer that we don't use the portal enough on offense. Okay. Fine. Tony's wrong. Tony's wrong. Tony's wrong again, Bino. What are we going to do? I'm reading some of the comments here. I'm just kind of catching up. And, you know, another guy is dragging me on talking about the story about Georgia Tech and how that was out there last week. And, okay, it was out there last week. Now, let me ask you something there, Rusty. Was it out there last week about Vanderbilt and Kentucky being on our schedule? Or do we get credit for that? Or some of you people, man, just annoy that. I mean, I don't know. No, it was Jack Meadows. I'm sorry. Jack Meadows, you're a clown, not Rusty. You're a clown, Jack. Get a life. Let's go back. I live rent-free in your head. Let's go back to the phones. On your TLD Logistics phone lines, this is your Monday edition. We're probably heading for a TLD Logistics overdrive overtime, though I don't know how long. I had this thing on my back, this little procedure done, and I wasn't sleeping great over the weekend, so I don't know how much I have in me today, but the playbook with William Patterson's coming up. Let's go back to the phones. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
I need you more than want you, and I want you for all time, Tony.
Great jam.
I love you, Tony.
I love you.
How are you feeling?
Getting through it, brother. How you feeling?
Doing okay. Did Sammy from the Ridge bring you a little special blend to help out?
Sammy from the Ridge is a really great guy. His kid's a class act. Those are class people right there, my friend.
Sammy from the Ridge.
He is all in, brother. He told me that his score was 80-13 with a straight face the other day. Had a straight face too, by the way. Straight face.
Him and Don from Sweetwater ought to get a room.
Interesting.
Anyway, yeah, I think I read something recently or today that the line's gone down a little bit. The sharps are hitting on Mississippi mistake.
Sure, I would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Look, I think it's going
Yeah,
to be a very, 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 very interesting game. Very interesting game.
Yeah, I thought that line was a little high myself. When I saw it.
Yes.
Yeah, Levy's the offensive guru. Where did he coach with high play? Oklahoma?
They just come off the same tree. I don't know where they're pass crossed, if they're pass crossed. I know they know each other. Do you guys know if they coach together on the same staff? I don't know that. But I know Levy is from that same tree of Mike Leach. He's from that Mike Leach tree.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You have a sore throat, my brother?
No.
Okay.
Why? No, I'm just clearing my throat a little bit.
It's not like you have a sore throat.
You know, your allergies a little bit.
Oh, it's rough out there.
I know it's Tennessee. This part of Tennessee is bad for allergies.
Oh man! And when your nose is as big as mine, you talk about some damn allergies.
How's Bino doing over there?
Freddie Jack, I am doing very well. Hope you are.
Good. I saw where your Colts put it to Titans-Bills. Titans.
By the way, Matt Dixon reminds me that Levy was Heupel's first OC at Central Florida, as has Jeff Harrison over at Twitter simultaneously. So thank you for that. Bino, your Pirates, the Pirates this week, Freddie, your Pirates have to lay down so the Reds can make the playoffs this week and get the Mets out of the way. The Mets collapsing, the Mets collapsing is one of the greatest things I've ever seen, Bino, in sport.
That never gets old for me.
Yes.
Mine and Joshy Boy's Braves got eliminated. So, but that Braves are hot. They've won 8 in a row.
Oh, yeah. Eliminate the Braves. Yep. The Braves had a great draft pick going, and they screwed it all up, man, in true Braves fashion.
Another team that's collapsed, the Tigers. The Tigers and Astros.
Braves just swept them.
Yeah, and the Astros might miss the playoffs. Who would have thought that would happen?
Freddie, I've been I'm very happy with the Colts play thus far, and no, I am stunned that Daniel Jones has given us the best quarterback play I've seen since Phillip Rivers. I didn't have that on my single card.
AKA Indiana Jones, Bino.
Indiana Jones.
But didn't he have some good
I know
moments
they play
with
two
the Giants?
teams that can't play dead, but
He had some good moments with the Giants, didn't he?
Sure. Well, the problem with the Giants is, they had
Didn't have anything around him.
Well, they just have a horrendous organization.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, they just have an awful, awful organization. The NFL's got a problem, Bino. There's too many bad teams in the NFL, including the Titans, who are, I don't know what they're doing with that head coach, but it's Falcons. Not working, and they're not watchable. The Titans are not watchable, Bino. Could you imagine watching that week in and week out?
No, I mean, when to get out.
That's a dreadful franchise.
I hate to rip others' teams, but that may be the worst coach NFL football team I've ever seen.
He's horrible.
It took till yesterday.
He's awful. And
he makes Gus Bradley look like Vince Lombardi.
And he's constantly settling for field goals. I mean, there's nothing that team does well. Nothing.
I think I saw where they had 23 penalties in the first 2 weeks, and they had at least 8 against the Colts yesterday, and the Colts declined like 3 additional ones. So they're on about 11 penalty a game pace there.
Speaking of which, guys, what'd y'all think of that crew, Bino, we had Saturday with the guy that looks like a frustrated, like middle school principal, the referee, and twice they had 3 flags on one play, Bino. They're clowns. That's a horrible crew.
Yeah, well, my buddies that I sit with at the football games are always bemoaning that They've got it now where when one ref throws his flag, even if it's the same penalty, they all throw it like they all saw it. Bull hockey.
Hey, Bino, I'll close here, but did you hear how Tony, how did you say you hurt your back?
I don't know. How'd I hurt it?
Oh.
Tell the story. Go ahead. You can get you.
Did you hear, Bino, did you hear how he really hurt his back?
I did not, Freddie Jack. I've not heard this.
Him and Tony Vitello were grappling, and Tony Vitello got him in a body triangle and was squeezing, and Tony wouldn't submit because he liked it so much.
Oh, no.
Good gosh. Man, come on. I mean, really? I mean, really? Come on, man. Come on now. 865-200-5402. Not cool. Not cool on a Monday. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is your fault, Ryan. Oh, my God.
What's up, Hoosier Ryan? Welcome in, brother.
I hate to have a laugh at your expense, brother, but that was I knew it was coming, and I still laughed.
Hey,
oh
Jack is a you know him. He's a world-class cheap shot artist.
Oh, that was bad even by him, but I'm sorry, but that was funny.
It sounds like he's on his last breath, right? But he spends his last breath just taking an absolute cheap shot at me. He's like totally winded.
If he
Ryan,
was
here's
dying,
how you get past
and
that.
you were
Let me
at
give you
his
years of
bedside,
experience here,
yeah.
Ryan. Hey, this is how you get past that. Whenever you laugh at Tony's expense, just tell him like I always have that I laugh when people make me mad.
There you go.
There you go. Freddie Jack, if you were at his bedside for his dying wish, he'd lean in and rip you one last time.
Oh, no question. Thanks for coming to see me. And how's your boyfriend Tony doing?
And not talk to his wife, not talk to his family, not talk to his children or whatever, priest or minister. He'd pull Tony in real close. And that'd be wild. But guys, unanswered prayers. Luke Altmaier says our wideouts ain't good enough to play with him. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that he, the coach Bino doesn't like, said after the game. He said, "Yeah, that's all we need. Give us some bulletin board material." He said, "Thank you to Illinois." After the game, he talked mega trash on him, Bino, after the game. And you don't like the guy. The guy's made Indiana football. That place was lit the other night, Ryan. Can you believe what you were seeing the other night, Ryan?
I'm talking. Yeah. I was texting